Hi friends, Ginny D here, and today is the 5-year anniversary of the very first episode of Critical Role, so it seemed like a good day to answer some of the questions that I get all the time about my Jester cosplay. I've broken this video out into sections, so feel free to check the description for timestamps if you want to click to a specific topic. One quick thing before we get started, I just wanted to mention that I have some new designs up in my Redbubble store. They are all cosplay related, including this mug, which says World's Okayest Cosplayer, this bag that I've been using whenever I have to transport cosplay stuff, this Not Your Cosplay Girlfriend shirt, important. You can get Redbubble designs printed on a ton of different merchandise, so all of those designs are available on like t-shirts and mugs and tote bags and travel mugs and clocks and coasters and a bunch of weird stuff. I'll put the link in the description, and if you get any of them, please make sure to tag me on social media when you post beautiful selfies in your new shirt. Let's start with the basics. What is Critical Role? To put it in their own words, it's a bunch of nerdy-ass voice actors playing Dungeons & Dragons. I have an entire video about what Critical Role is. I will link it in the cards in case you want more in-depth information. But somehow I doubt you would have clicked this video if you didn't already know. Who is Jester? Well, she's one of the characters from Critical Role, played by Laura Bailey. She is a tiefling cleric. You know, the blue girl that I'm always dressed as. People often ask me why I chose to cosplay Jester, and I can honestly tell you that from the very first minute that she appeared in the show, I was in love with her.
Are you secretly in love with me?
I just found her so charming and lovable, and even though she is arguably one of the most difficult characters to cosplay from Campaign 2 of Critical Role, I couldn't help it. When I first started cosplaying Jester, I didn't do body paint, so the fact that I now do body paint like twice a month is just testament to how wonderful she is. People also often ask me if I have any plans to cosplay any other Critical Role characters. So I have already cosplayed Keyleth in her Vox Machina Origins outfit, and I am working on a Pike Trickfoot cosplay. Both of those characters are from Campaign 1. I've also done makeup tests for the Ruby of the Sea, Not the Brave, and Kaliana. To be totally honest, I want to cosplay almost every character, but I am trying this year to force myself to put at least one non-Critical Role cosplay in between every Critical Role cosplay that I do, in the interests of maintaining variety. So yeah, I don't know, I don't have any other plans like set in stone. Okay, let's talk about the costume. Did I make the costume? Yes. I made almost every part of my Jester cosplay myself from scratch. Obviously, some of the accessories like the boots or various belts are just purchased or modified, but all of the major garments I made myself, so the skirt, the blouse, the corset, the cape, etc. How long did it take me to make? I feel like it was like 1 to 2 months from first makeup test to actual completion and debut of the costume. Even though most of the pieces of the costume aren't that challenging, it has a lot of pieces. It is a costume with a lot of details. How did you make the skirt, the blouse, the corset, the cape? Can you share patterns? These are questions that I get a lot from people who are working on their own Jester costumes. I am working on a series of tutorials about this. Right now I have a tutorial out about the skirt. I also did use some commercial patterns, although I modified them. For the blouse, I modified Simplicity 8162, and for the corset, I used Simplicity 1558, and I just changed up the little decorative straps on the front of the corset. I also get a lot of horn questions. How are they attached? How did I do the jewelry? Are they heavy? My horns are a cheap set of foam horns from Amazon. I will link to them in the description. I spray painted them, and I made the little horn caps out of craft foam, spray painted silver. Literally just like a little ice cream cone shaped bit of foam, just curled it around, hot glued it. For the horn that has a chain, I just glued a ring of the chain over top of the horn tip, and the other end of the chain just connects to the earring. I have my little ears in a baggie here. They're not heavy at all, they're foam. What I did to attach them is I put some of these little alligator style clips onto the bottom. I hot glued them onto the base of the horn, and then I also hot glued a little bit of fabric over top of the bottom just to make sure they stayed in place. When I put them on, I just opened both alligator clips and then I just tuck them down into the mesh of the wig cap. Do you paint your arms and legs? Nope. The only thing that I paint when I dress up as Jester is my face and my neck. I wear tights on my legs, gloves on my hands, which I've glued fake nails to for realism, and a turtleneck leotard for the rest. All of those are from We Love Colors in the color Sky Blue. I highly recommend them. They have a bunch of different products available all in the same dye colors, so you can easily match across your legs and arms and body. Whenever people see me in a Jester costume that is not as full coverage as her main costume, such as my goth Jester look, they're like, "Wow, that's a lot of blue body But like, no, I don't hate myself that much. Is the costume comfortable? You know, not really. Wearing a corset is never my favorite thing because instead of a corset stopping me from slouching, I just aggressively slouch against the steel boning. There's also so many pieces and so many layers to Jester's standard early level costume that it's just kind of a pain in the butt to move around in. That's one of the reasons I made my casual Jester costume, because I just wanted a way to wear Jester to cons that just wouldn't suck for 8 to 10 hours. Like, it's not my least comfortable costume, but I don't want to like wear it to hang out. Are you planning on making level 10 Jester? Yes! I am. I really want to. I love that outfit design. One of the only reasons I haven't started working on it yet is just that I really wanted to get some costumes in that were non-Jester related first. And I've already been working on Pike for a little while, so it'll probably be a few more costumes before I get started on level 10. If you are also working on a Jester costume and you want basically my shopping list for where I got my horns, my fangs, my ears, etc., I will put all of that into the description. The only thing I'm not going to link to is the contact lenses that I use, because I am just really sick of seeing cosplayers hurt themselves and damage their eyes by listening to influencers instead of their eye doctor. So if you are looking for colored contacts for cosplay, please just speak to your eye doctor about it. Don't listen to what people on the internet say. I don't want to be responsible for your vision. Your eyes are fragile. You only get 2. Please just talk to your eye doctor. Let's talk makeup. If you want to learn about how I do my makeup, I have a full tutorial which I will link in the cards and in the description in case you want to check it out in detail. I use Mayron Paradise, which is a water-activated makeup. I don't have a lot of facial sweating and I don't have particularly dry skin, so that makeup works fine for me, but it may not work well for everybody. Depending on your skin type, just look into different kinds of makeup, do a little research. There are a lot of options out there. How long does it take me to do the Jester makeup? So I can tell you that it has taken me as long as 2 hours on some occasions, but there's also at least one time when I got it done in about 45 minutes. It's definitely gotten faster the more practice that I get with it. I think if you're doing it for the first time, you should definitely give yourself at least 2 hours so that you don't feel rushed. But these days I give myself about an hour. How do you keep from getting blue makeup on the clothes? That isn't really a problem for me because I wear that leotard, so none of the areas of my body that are painted, which is just my face and neck, ever really touch my clothing much. There is a little bit of blue residue on the inside collar of the cape, but it's water-based, so it comes out really easily in the wash. In general, you should make sure to seal your body paint to try and prevent it from rubbing off on things, but sealants can only do so much. Let's talk about the Jester experience. People often ask me how I eat or drink or talk or sing with the fangs in. First, I will tell you that Scarecrow, which manufactures these fangs, they do not recommend eating or drinking with the fangs in. That is because you are at high risk of swallowing one. Personally, I do drink with the fangs in because I live on the edge. But I drink with a straw, more to save the Jester makeup than to worry about the fangs, but it does help make sure that they're not floating around in your mouth. As for talking and singing, it's just one of those things that you have to get used to. I've gotten enough practice with them that I don't feel like I have a very audible lisp. Doing the Jester accent with the fangs in actually kind of helps because when I'm speaking as Jester, I open my mouth like really wide, which helps get the fangs out of the way. As for singing with them in, I don't really sing with them in. When I do music videos, I record that audio in studio and I am not dressed as Jester while I am recording the music. I'm only dressed as Jester while I am filming the video. If you find that fangs are really impeding your speech, I would recommend not only giving yourself time to practice, but also using the smallest possible fangs that you can. I know that the larger, classic-sized fangs definitely create more of a lisp for me than these little love bites do. How did you learn the voice, and how long did it take you to practice it? So I've always been a pretty good mimic, so for me, learning the voice was mostly just listening to clips of Jester speaking and then just repeating it until I sort of got the hang of it and learned how to wrap my mouth around it. I have a whole video about the accent if you want to learn it yourself, and I will link that in the cards and in the description. As for how long it took me to practice it, I think I only practiced it for about a week before I filmed that first little video that went viral.
Do you want a donut from my bag? Go and take it. They're only a little stale.
But listening back, I can hear a lot of issues in the accent I was doing in that video that I have since corrected, so it's definitely a process. Do I ever start feeling like I'm Jester, or forget that I'm Ginny, or get lost in the character? This might sound like a ridiculous question, but I've actually gotten variations on this question quite a few times. And listen, like, I get that you guys love Jester and you really desperately want her to be real, and I get it because I also love Jester, but like, I'm a person. I'm a human person. I've been Ginny for decades longer than I've been Jester. I am never going to forget that I am Ginny. Getting into character as Jester is really fun, but there is no part of me that has trouble drawing a boundary between that fictional character and my real self and my real life. There are a lot of people who assume that I am somehow intrinsically tied to Jester. Like, people like to assume that my favorite food is also donuts. People like to try and draw parallels between me and the color blue. Like, I posted a picture of myself at like 6 or 7 years old at the beach, and I had like a blue bucket. Somebody on Twitter was like trying to claim that the color of the bucket was like foreshadowing for Jester. Blue is a primary color, folks. It's gonna turn up a lot. So yeah, do I love Jester? Absolutely. Do I love that you love Jester? Completely. Am I secretly Jester? No. Do you ever put on Jester just for funsies? Absolutely not. She takes so long to put on. And like, I'm a professional content creator, so when I take the time to put Jester on, it's like to make content for my work. I already have so many plans for Jester and video ideas and concepts and photo shoots and stuff that I haven't found time to do yet just because putting on Jester takes so long. So like, if I put on Jester, it's gonna be to make a new video, not like to wear to the mall or something. I know there are a lot of people who like wear cosplay for fun, but I've absolutely never been one of them. Cosplay for me is a tool to create. The wearing of the cosplay is a means to an end for me. Do you ever wear Jester to conventions? Yes, these days I wear Jester to every convention because if I don't, people get upset with me. If you want to see which conventions I am going to this year, assuming that they don't all get canceled over coronavirus concerns, you can check out my website, jinnyd.com/cons, and you can see my full schedule there. Has Laura Bailey ever said anything about your costume? Yeah, Laura's the best! When I did that first little video with Jester's accent, she retweeted it and said that it was a really great Jester, which I of course lost my mind over. And then of course I got to meet her at Emerald City Comic Con, which was magical. I have it on my wall actually. Insert harp music. A lot of people asked me to get video of me meeting her, and people were saying that they wanted to see like her and I talk to each other in the Jester voice or something. When you do a photo op like that at a convention, you are not allowed to take additional photos or video, and they move you through super fast. You only have seconds with the person. And also I would have felt like such an asshole like walking up to Laura Bailey and like using her character's accent at her. That would have felt very presumptuous to me.
But yeah, it was lovely.
I think that covers it. If you have further questions that are not addressed here, feel free to put them into the comments and I will do my very best to answer them. And of course, make sure to subscribe for more Critical Role content because it's the only thing that brings me happiness on this entire barren earth.